The American auto industry isn't just slowing down, it's entering a death spiral. Right now, 4.2 million cars are rotting on dealer lots. And even the bulletproof Honda Civic is sitting for 6 months. Dealers are bleeding $50 a day per car in pure interest. If you think this is just a dip, you're missing the financial massacre happening behind the scenes. Here is the truth no one is telling you. We are witnessing what insiders are calling the Great Automotive Reset. To put 4.2 million unsold cars into perspective, that is enough inventory to fill every single parking space in Manhattan, 47 times over. But here is the math of failure that should keep every CEO in Detroit awake at night. A standard $35 vehicle isn't just sitting there, it's a parasite. It costs a dealer roughly $47 every single day in floorplan interest alone. When you scale that across the country, the U.S. auto industry is literally incinerating $200 million in cash every 24 hours. The desperation is reaching a fever pitch. We're seeing Hail Mary plays, $15 off MSRP and 0% financing for 84 months. In any other era, that would trigger a buying frenzy. Today, silence. The American consumer has hit a wall, and they've stopped swinging. And it's not just the showrooms, the entire system is in cardiac arrest. This is a systemic cascade. Auto transport companies are filing for bankruptcy because there's simply nothing left to move. The auctions, once the heartbeat of the market, are frozen solid. I spoke to a yard manager in California who used to move 2,000 units a week. Today, he's lucky if 340 roll across the block. The gears of the American dream are grinding to a halt. If you're a buyer, you're sitting on the most powerful leverage we've seen in a generation. But if you're a dealer, or heaven forbid, someone who just bought at the peak, you're standing on a fault line. While dealerships are drowning in metal, the average car owner is hitting a financial brick wall. We are witnessing a total evaporation of equity. Vehicle values are collapsing so violently that millions of Americans are waking up to find themselves underwater, trapped in loans for assets that are losing value faster than they can pay them off. Look at the brutal gap between wholesale and retail. Used car values have slid 23% in 18 months. But the wholesale auction floor? It has cratered by 35%. Think about that. A Chevy Silverado that fetched $45 at auction last year is now struggling to bring in $29. That's not a correction, that's a bloodbath. This brings us to the negative equity trap. Take Jennifer from Arizona. She's a real-world casualty of this market. She owes $52 on her 2021 Tahoe. But when she went to trade it in, the highest offer was $34. She is staring at an $18 deficit just to walk away from the keys. She's not alone, she's the new normal. And the contagion is spreading to the leasing world. We are facing a massive lease crisis. Residual values, the price the bank thought the car would be worth, are now sitting $15 higher than actual market reality. When these leases expire, customers aren't buying them out. They're throwing the keys back at the lenders and walking away. This is leaving leasing companies holding billions in worthless, depreciating assets. The safety net is gone, and the ground is giving way. If you have a car payment right now, you need to hear what I'm about to say next. Forget what you remember about 2008. The credit crisis brewing beneath the surface of the auto industry right now is making the Great Recession look like a practice round. We are seeing a violent explosion in borrowing costs. Average interest rates for prime borrowers have skyrocketed from 4.2% to a staggering 9.8%. But for the subprime market, it's a total wipeout, with rates hitting a predatory 24.9%. This isn't just a math problem, it's a social one. Repossessions have surged by 47% in just the last year. We aren't just talking about old junkers. People are walking away from 2021 and 2022 models because the negative equity has become a mountain they can no longer climb. It's no longer a matter of can't pay, it's a matter of why pay for a ghost asset? But the real, silent killer is the gap trap. If you get into an accident today, your insurance company only cares about the current, crashing cash value of your car. If you owe $40 on a vehicle that the market now says is only worth $25, and you don't have gap insurance, you are looking at a $15 bill for a pile of scrap metal you can't even drive. This is the financial landmine waiting for millions of American drivers. The question isn't if the bubble pops, it's how many people are going to be caught in the blast. While you're struggling with monthly payments, the giants in Detroit are facing a literal existential crisis. This isn't just a bad quarter or a temporary hiccup, we are witnessing a permanent, painful restructuring of the American dream. The headlines are grim. GM has signaled a retreat with 6 plant closures and 18,000 layoffs. Ford is following suit, desperate to trim the fat by offering buyouts to 25,000 employees. The industry isn't just shifting gears, it's losing its engine. And then, there's the multi-billion-dollar elephant in the room, the EV disaster. The Big Three bet the farm on electric vehicles. But the market didn't just cool off, it froze. Ford incinerated $4.7 billion on their EV division last year alone. They built the infrastructure to pump out 150.000 F-150 Lightnings. But they're staring at a reality where only 40.000 are actually finding driveways. But here is the ultimate irony. American manufacturers abandoned the affordable cars you actually wanted, the reliable sedans and compacts, to chase high-margin $80 SUVs. They left a massive void in the market. And now, the wolves are at the door. Foreign powerhouses like Hyundai, Kia, and looming Chinese brands are flooding in to fill the gap Detroit left behind. The kings have lost their crowns. And if you're waiting for prices to drop, you need to understand who actually holds the cards now. But the final piece of this puzzle, the one that ensures things will never go back to normal, is a massive generational shift. We are witnessing an entire demographic under 30 that has effectively checked out of the car culture. For them, a $700 monthly payment isn't a status symbol, it's a shackle. They'd rather put that cash toward travel or crushing their student loans. Owning a car has officially hit the bottom of their priority list. Analysts are now sounding the alarm. Expect 30% to 40% of all dealerships to shutter their doors permanently in the next 18 months. The era of walk in, drive out is dying. So, here is your bottom line. If you own a car, brace yourself. Your equity is a falling knife. If you're thinking about buying, don't. Hold the line. Prices haven't just dipped, the market has officially detonated. Knowledge is your only shield in this fallout. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned to VOLFSHIFT, because in this automotive apocalypse, being uninformed is the most expensive mistake you can make.